Okay, let's go. Well, the gods are smiling at us because it stopped raining. And let's go and scrub these tyres in. 6 miles on this bike so far. There's Papa Luigi with his 360, yes. New tyres and cold, wet tarmac never really go together very well. You know, new bike needs riding, doesn't it? So this bike still needs running in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the oil temperature up, and then I'm going to, for the first 100 miles or so, I'm going to take it fairly steady on this bike and run it in a textbook manner, if you will, keeping it below 7,000 RPM or thereabouts. But after that, I'm going to start making excursions higher and higher into the rev range to get the bike running properly, because in all reality you get one chance to run an engine in properly. If you're too gentle with it, you will never achieve the power that the bike's capable of. I'm not condoning getting onto a new bike with a brand new engine and abusing it. You've got to be mechanically sympathetic, bring the oil up to temperature and gently bring the RPM higher and higher, and I will actually get to red line before the 600 miles is up. The gear change is super silky, both up and down. Now this I get asked a lot, is it worth putting super unleaded in your bike? The answer is no. If your bike is designed to run on 95 octane, putting a higher octane fuel will give you no more power. Higher octane basically just has a higher resistance to pinking under compression. The higher the octane fuel you use, the more compression you can have on your engine and the more advanced you can run. But if you don't need it, just putting higher octane fuel in will give you no more power. Shiny blue brand new tyres. Come on, let's go. Get these brake pads in as well. Actually, this is pretty much my first ride out after the winter. Well, no, of course it's not. We've been to Malaga, haven't we? Where I had lots of problems with my elbow. This is the first ride out after the treatment to my elbow, to a tennis elbow. Makes putting the clutch in a little bit difficult. So I'm going to let my right arm do most of the work today. So, initial impressions of this bike. Well, to be honest with you, it feels exactly the same as the Pikes Peak so far. It's a very familiar place. I've obviously not opened the engine up at all, so I can give you no feedback on that at the moment. If anything, in touring, I'm in touring mode here, it feels a little bit firmer than the Pikes Peak did in its touring mode. I didn't alter the suspension setup, left it at factory standard throughout the life of owning that bike, and I would say that the touring on this, as set by the factory, is a little bit firmer. You can obviously alter all of that in the suspension settings. See you later, Mr. Yaris. Engine's warmed up now. I'm going to push it a little. Slowing, nice and steady. Brakes feel fresh and tight. I'm not sure if Ducati have put a different kind of compound in there, but the brakes, even at this point with just a few miles on them, feel significantly sharper than the Pikes Peak. Could be my imagination, or it could be a different compound that they're using. Oh, what a fantastic day to take your brand new RS out to scrub the tyres in. Okay, so we've done 31 miles on this bike now, and you can already feel that the engine is starting to bed in. It's got all the Euro 5 characteristics that you'd expect, but they ain't so bad, to be honest with you. You know, they're much more evident on different models and different bikes. Having said that, there's lots and lots and lots of scope for improvement. Get chicken strips on that bad boy. It's really nice. Yeah. It's very much like the Pikes Peak, but a bit more.
So, we just got back from the first ride, and I keep getting this screen thrown at me. It's the carbon screen that comes with the bike, and possibly it's a bit lighter, but to me it looks too much like the battle droids from Star Wars, and I just don't like it. I'm not going to fit it, but I'm sure one of the other lads will throw it on at some point. But anyway, that can just stay there for me. Very, very first impressions. Look, we've done less than 50 miles on the bike. We just had to get out and get a quick ride on it. I haven't really ridden it enough to give you a qualified opinion on what the bike's actually like. But what did stand out was the difference in feel to the brakes. Again, I don't know if that was my imagination, but I believe it's running the new Brembo Stylema monoblocks, so that could be making a difference to it. It feels a little bit more focused than the Pikes Peak. Now I'm led to believe it's running the same geometry, so there's no real reason for that either. But coming to our favourite component, the engine. Now, I know it's tuned different to the Street Fighter and the Panigale, and it does feel different to the Street Fighter and the Panigale, and it also feels different to the Gran Turismo that's in the Pikes Peak and the other V4 Multistradas. We're really looking forward to getting it on the dyno. We haven't done enough miles on it yet, but to me, just off the initial ride, I'm going to say Ducati are understating the power that this bike makes. But the proof's in the pudding. When we get it on the dyno, we'll let you know what it's actually making and how it's fueling and everything else that goes with the data that we get from the dyno. I know this has just been a really, really small sneak peek off our new bike, but if you do stay tuned and you do hit the subscribe button, we will be bringing you lots and lots more content on our RS. And we've got a lot planned for tuning this bike, so we will keep you informed on that as well.